OPEX itself is operational excellence. It's to bring better to what we're doing here on a daily basis.
When we heard about OPEX, everybody had sort of that like, okay, yeah, how long is this going to work?
At first it was kind of hard to take, it was change.
OPEX has a tendency to be feared due to the unknown.
We went from a little bit of resistance, this is the flavor of the month, to we're getting it.
The goal of OPEX is to drive that lean thinking across the teams to make sure that we're doing everything safely but in the most efficient and effective way possible.
OPEX requires absolute honesty. It is like looking in a mirror for all of us. We want to recognize what we're doing well, and we want to fix the things that we may not have been paying attention to before.
We want to come in smiling, we want to be engaged in our work, and we want to treat each other with respect. That's something that Kimberly-Clark has lost over the years, and I think this is our opportunity to get it back.
Just like anything, when you implement a new policy or procedure, there's a change management that goes along with it. So sometimes there's growing pains with the communication of getting to the ground level, the why behind why we're implementing a program of any sort.
We're like disciples of OPEX, and we have to go out there and we have to preach, and we have to be relentless in the why. Not only we want to shift the mindsets of our operators, we want to shift the mindsets of our leaders too.
You can see by the board behind me just how much information is there, and that information's, pretty much daily updated. We know where we're at all the time.
Brings a lot more organization and consistency to the operating environment.
So before OPEX, yeah, we were always looking behind. We were always looking in the past.
Nobody really knew what your problems were versus their problems.
We did have issues. We had tons of issues.
Prior to OPEX, really, it went from, the top down.
So OPEX, we've embraced what we call as the upside down pyramid. We're listening to our operators first. Their voice is what's helping to drive change.
It's not all about the leaders. We are there to support the teams. I work for my operators. They don't work for me.
We have to take the hierarchy out of the equation and really start thinking about what makes that operator's life on the floor safer and easier. And that's a change.
Once we were shown what to do and started doing it, we're not going to stop. Why go back? You don't want to go backwards.
Tier 1's truly where it all starts. This is where the operations say, hey, this is what we need. How are you going to give it to me?
6 months ago, if I was to go downstairs and talk to the shift crews, they felt that they weren't listened to. They were coming into the same problems over and over and over again. And what we're seeing now is that they're asking and telling us, and we're listening, and then we're getting things fixed for them. And you might think, well, that just sounds like common sense. Well, it is. But we weren't doing that.
Now, we don't always get along. We don't always agree. I don't mean to say that's super hunky-dory, but as a general statement, I'd say we run the place now.
Our run percentage time is a lot better, than what it used to be. People want to come to work now. People are happy about coming to work.
My job now is probably as easy as it's ever been. And a lot of it has to do with what's going on with a lot of stuff behind me right here, right now.
We start off every day with a plan of the day. So everybody on the lines knows what's going on. They know what grade changes are going to happen. They just know.
We start very early in the morning, so they've already had a couple hours out there.
It's getting the right people in the room at the same time.
Maintenance, operators, area leaders, asset leaders, all those involved in the area are part of that meeting every morning.
Whether it's a safety event that might have happened somewhere in the mill, or it's a productivity issue we're having on one of the assets, my whole leadership team knows about it.
And so when there's a problem, we all own it.
We believe that culture transformation is done in 3 areas. One's around our management infrastructure, so that's really a focus on our efficiency of the way we get work done. The operating system is the second part of that, and that's the kind of the work we do out on the floor. They're the things that we get done on a daily basis to keep the machine running. But the most important part of a cultural transformation is the mindsets, behaviours and capabilities of our people. Because if you talk about what's really important in a facility, in a manufacturing facility, it's the culture of our people, moving from one state to the next.
And the unique thing is now all these 3 bubbles are tied together so they all overlap, where before, OS was all the main concern along with management infrastructure.
What OPEX has done is laid out a 16-week plan called a TIP, which stands for Tactical Implementation Plan. prioritize the right work at the right time. It has laid out a roadmap of what I'm going to work on each day for the next 16 weeks.
If your machine runs well, if you got the system so you know what you're going to do every day and how you're supposed to do it, and we're doing the things that make you feel good about coming to work, then you're going to be happier about what you're doing.
I understand what this culture change can do and how powerful it really is. And I'm excited to be part of that solution.
We're all seeing that this could make such an impactful change in the family care sector, that we're going to be part of something that has not been done before. And that's super exciting to me.
I want my kids and maybe my grandkids to have a future at Mobile. I want to see all these places last another 100 years.
They've shown us how much better we can be, how much easier it is to do your job when things are done right. So as soon as this goes to all the other departments in our plant, look out.
Because I've seen what it does. I think it works.